Hello, welcome to Feedback Friday, the series where we look at videos by other creators and break them down to see what they did good, where they could improve, also that we can have a constructive conversation and learn from it. If we haven't met yet, I'm Genki Hagata, and on this channel I do my very best to help you learn and grow through friendly critiques and tutorials. As always, before reviewing anyone's work, I always ask them questions about what their intentions are, what they thought went well, what didn't go well, what they learned, all so that we can have a good perspective to look at it with. Today we're looking at a vlog by David Tregde, a friend and someone who's been working in the industry for 10 years, currently as a motion graphics animator for the news show Verify. This is his first vlog on what I believe is a new channel for vlogs, but in no way, shape, or form is this his first video. David's a friend, like I said, and he's constantly looking to improve and expand his tool set and ultimately start a production company for documentaries. And this is his way, I guess, of documenting his own life journey, as well as practicing or rehearsing what he'll be doing with that production. Unlike the last two vlogs that we looked at, this is more of a standard or a real vlog, whatever that means. But basically, it's a story that's developed throughout the day through capturing different sequences in chronological order and assembled for the audience through the edit. Like I said, David's a professional who makes short videos in the 1 to 2 minute range every other day. This vlog is 3 minutes and 40 seconds about, and it feels really well paced. As always, I'll leave the link to the full video in the description below. But for now, let's take a look.
All right, so it's Black Friday morning, coffee. Rebecca had to get up super early this morning, so I thought it'd be nice to surprise her by putting up a few of our Christmas decorations before she got home. However, I've got to do a few chores around here first and run a couple of errands. I'm hoping I can get all that done before she gets home so I can get some of those Christmas decorations up. Wish me luck.
The first thing we'll notice is that he's really comfortable in front of the camera, or at least has really good on-screen presence. Part of that, I think, has to do with his 3-take approach that he told me about. Essentially, the first take he does is he thinks about what he's trying to say. The second take, he tries to refine it. And the third take, he tries to perfect it. So if this was the third take, it still felt really natural. I know if you do something like 10, 15 takes, it starts to not feel natural anymore. But like I said, good on-screen presence, communicates well, and it feels natural. Let's go.
Now that I've got the dining area all nice and cleaned up, I gotta ship these out, so I gotta pack these up and take them over to FedEx.
One thing to quickly note, and this is something everyone can pay attention to, is when you're filming something on the table and you set your tabletop tripod, like a Joby tripod, on the same table that you're leaning against, like David is here, anytime you bump that table, the tripod's gonna shake and you're gonna get camera shake. Something like this, you may not have noticed while you're filming, but then you're kind of beating yourself up later in the edit. Just keep it in mind so you don't get that camera shake. A lot of people ask about B-roll and how they can improve B-roll. And that's one of the things that David asked for me to take a look at, see where he can improve B-roll and maybe opportunities for where it could go.
That is probably the snuggest fitting box I've ever packed, period.
As far as shot sequences or B-roll sequences go, this one's fine. We've got plenty of angles covering the action.
So when I've run out of bagged air, what I do is I take these grocery bags, I stuff a few extra in there, and it provides a nice little pillow. As long as the item isn't gonna already move around too much, it just helps prevent any knocks or tumbles that really dislodge the item.
And it's always a good idea if you can teach your audience something. So this pro tip on packing with plastic bags, solid advice. So it's not really an issue with this sequence so much as I don't feel like the shot of the spam callers really fit this narrative of going to FedEx.
Stupid spam callers.
I feel like it could have been its own joke or its own scene in itself if we just had a few more shots. And going back to what David asked about B-roll and opportunities for B-roll, extending that sequence of getting in the car and perhaps being distracted by a phone call, like maybe you're trying to buckle your seat and then we hear the phone ring, which is an opportunity for sound design. We get a shot of the phone saying, scam likely or something. Then you reveal that it's wasting your time and there's more of a build, more of a payoff, and it starts to fit the storyline, or it's an interruption in the storyline of you trying to hurry off to FedEx, for example. Depending on who you're talking to, B-roll can either mean anything that's not the camera pointing at your face, or it has to be, slow motion or stuff like that. But essentially, shots that you can help tell the story with that are different angles, like in the case of the cell phone here, could definitely be helpful and be considered B-roll. It's worth pointing out that B-roll doesn't have to be those slow motion shots of you doing action, the 120 frames per second, buttery smooth stuff that's so popular here on YouTube, but they can just be simple shots that help tell the story, like I just mentioned, the front of the phone showing scam likely or something like that. Those are the types of shots that can help, and that's the type of B-roll I think we should all be shooting for, not just those super cinematic shots.
All right, I've dropped off that package at FedEx, so now I need to go home so I can get some of those Christmas decorations unloaded from our little storage closet and try to get the tree set up so that when Rebecca gets home.
So while I don't really have an issue when people are setting up the next scene by saying what they're going to do, like in this case, David's saying that he's going to go unpack the closet and stuff like that, so that X can happen, so that his wife has a surprise moment. But anytime you catch yourself saying, here we go, or let's go, or anything along those lines,
all right, here we go.
It's a good sign that you're telling and not showing. So look out for those. And in a case like this, where you set it up just fine, but then you say, here we go, you could always just cut right there and move on to the next scene.
When Rebecca gets home, it's just like, boom, Christmas surprise,
Granted, there is a bit of a whip pan transition that you lose out on if you cut that dialogue, so I feel like you might have made that choice to keep the transition instead of cutting out the here we go part.
Here we go.
But just something to think about for the next time. The sequence here of setting up all the decorations and the Christmas tree and everything like that is a good example of showing instead of telling. Good passage of time. I don't feel like any of the single shots drag on too long. You could cut it a little bit more punchy if you wanted to, but otherwise I feel like it's working well.
And kind of unfolded the branches a bit. So now I'm going to try to put some garland on our new TV stand that sort of looks like a mantle place, but I'm going to have to get some extension cord so I can run the power behind because the cord on that guy's pretty short.
And while things are working pretty well in the sequence of setting up the Christmas tree and the decorations, I feel like some of the shots are a little bit same, so it does get a little bit repetitive. Granted, you don't have this lasting more than 1 minute, so I don't really have a problem with that, but just if this was a longer vlog and this sequence had a lot more of the same shots in it, something to look out for if you're doing something like that.
This will work.
And now the moment of truth.
So now I got the mantle working. I'm going to test and see how it looks with
one thing I wish you kept in the edit was turning that light switch on with the first light switch, just like you did in the fireplace shot following it. It might be cliche, but I felt like we should have seen that go off. It's a little bit of a nitpick though.
Tool working. I'm going to test and see how it looks with the fireplace. I'm going to grab these little fake poinsettias, kind of add some finishing touches, wait until Becca gets home, and hopefully she likes it.
And there you go. You got your cinematic shots of B-roll, nicely decorated tree at the end. We get a good payoff of the decorations. I would say that we probably could have had a little bit more of a reaction or emotion coming from your wife, but it's not always easy to get our significant others to be cooperative with the camera when we're shooting a vlog and they just got home from work. So yeah, kudos for getting some reaction out of her. So even though this was your first vlog, I feel like it was a very successful vlog. You've got all kinds of things in there that you would see in a traditional vlog style video, but you've got good pacing, got L cuts, J cuts, dialogue, all the things that you need for a good video. You can definitely see that you're seasoned at making films, and even though this was your first vlog, it was a good one. I wouldn't have guessed that it was your first one. Just to finish up the conversation on B-roll here just a little bit, I know that it can be really difficult that when you're shooting a vlog throughout the day to get all the coverage that you need and all the B-roll of different things that you aren't sure are even going to make it into the final cut, or especially when you don't know the story yet. For example, when you're in the car and you get that random phone call, to then go ahead and know that you're going to put that in the vlog and shoot different scenes or the footage of the phone. Those are things that you can't quite predict that are going to happen, but will eventually help in the edit. And sometimes it might even be worth going back and shooting a pickup shot to help tell that story later on, if you have the time, of course. And I'll also say that you don't always need a transition in your B-roll to whip pan from one shot to another shot. If it helps tell the story or if it helps keep viewers more engaged, that's a good reason to have it. But you can always cut that if you need to help tell the story better, or take out the here we go parts of your dialogue. Otherwise, very solid vlog. Again, if it's your first one, congratulations. It was really good. Your on-camera presence is awesome. And I think that's the key takeaway here. I really like your 3-take approach. If you're someone who's not comfortable in front of the camera, give that 3-take approach a try. Remember, the first take, think about what you're going to say, let it be rough. In the second take, refine it a little bit and get better at it. And finally, in the third take, you know what you're going to say, it's refined, and you can worry about the delivery and perfecting it. Just another reminder, if you're making a vlog, to show, don't tell, and anytime you hear yourself saying, and then I, and then we, or here we go, let's go, those are all good signs that you're telling and not showing. So I hope you learned something. Try out that 3-step, 3-take process. And in the spirit of feedback, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section and let me know what you learned. If you're interested and you'd like to join the Feedback family, a close-knit group of creatives looking to get better through giving and receiving thoughtful feedback, check the link to that in the description. And if you'd like to have your video reviewed and critiqued on this channel, let me know. The link to that is in the description as well. For weekly episodes of Feedback Friday and for tips and tutorials, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As always, if you made it this far, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll catch you in the next video.